Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shai, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shai, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shai, Kal Halal Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, the elders, the great millstone. Shalom, mercy, and safety to all of the Akim on the highways and byways, preaching the word in sincerity and in truth, and a healthy shalom to the elect. All right, my name is Rawai, and I'm back with another lesson through the Spirit. Lord willing, it is edifying. Title of this lesson will be something to the effect of street ninjas are stupid. All right, street ninjas are stupid. Street niggas are stupid. All right. It's been all over the news lately, social media. This guy, Big U, allegedly a Crip, a rolling 60s Crip. There's word that he's had a hand in Nipsey's death, whatever. Who knows? Who really cares? Just want to try to, establish who this guy is. Allegedly a big dog from out there in LA, big Crip, charged with conspiracy, right? RICO, feds on him now. And I wanted to really touch on how stupid these guys are, and I'm most certainly qualified to speak on it in the way that I'm going to, because I come from the street world. I understand the dynamics. I understand the workings of being in the streets. And it's crazy to say, but I've done more in the streets than I've done with anything in my life. All right, meaning that I spent so much time in the streets. All right, 20 plus years. So I was in that more than I was involved in anything, which is some wild shit to say, but it's just true. And so me being removed from that world and that life, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, me praying for a way out, getting out of that, and the Lord delivering, I look at what I see happening, and I'm like, these niggas are stupid, man. These guys are stupid. And I got a couple of videos lined up to kind of go into why I'm saying what I'm saying. And we feel no remorse, okay, when these dudes get judged. I did a couple of lessons going into, let me see. Let me just pull it up real quick on my other line. I did a little series, all right, and it's called Absolutely No Compassion for the Wicked. I should name this part 3. But I just want to touch on how wicked so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans are, and how stupid they are. All right, through the spirit. Okay. So this guy turned himself in. He's charged with murder, RICO, conspiracy, drugs, robberies, and things like that. Let me play this, and then I'm going to play the video that really jumped out at me, all right? Let me just give some context.
Now at 11, an accused LA gang leader takes to social media just moments before turning himself in to the FBI. It's the latest twist in a story we've been following all day long. Federal officers arresting more than a dozen members tied to the gang known as the Rollin' 60s Neighborhood Crips. Tonight, the feds say they have the man who is their leader. Eyewitness News reporter Michelle Fisher joining us now with what we're learning tonight. Michelle.
Mark, for many in Los Angeles, Eugene Henley Jr. is known as someone who has worked to keep others and the youth out of gangs. But in an ironic twist, federal authorities are now saying he was running a mafia-like criminal enterprise.
This is my last video before I turn myself in.
Eugene Henley Jr., a.k.a. Big U, defending himself in a series of social media videos taken on his way to surrender to authorities for RICO charges.
I ain't been nothing but a help to our community. But I guess it is what it is. This is the price of being black and trying to help somebody,
Now at 11, an accused LA gang leader takes to social media just
trying to help your community and do what you can.
This coming hours after the U.S. Attorney's Office laid out their allegations against him Wednesday.
Mr. Henley operated Big U Enterprises, a mafia-like organization that utilized Mr. Henley's stature and long-standing association with the Crips criminal street gang.
Known in the entertainment world as one of rap's top kingmakers, the Department of Justice alleges Henley murdered a musician signed to his label in 2021 and used his nonprofit to line his own pockets.
Mr. Henley is accused of embezzling donations made by celebrities, professional athletes, and businesses to his charity, Developing Options. Henley used this charity as a front.
Last December, ABC7 caught up with Henley after his charity's truck full of Christmas presents for Crenshaw area kids was stolen. He was there with his son, Dayon Henley, a linebacker for the LA Chargers.
I know Big U. I know his organization, and this broke my heart.
The
Trying to help your community.
allegations against Henley shocking for Georgia Leap, who worked closely with him through LA's Office of Gang Reduction and Youth Development.
Did I go home at night and think, I wonder what's going on with him? Never.
The FBI today announcing charges for at least 18 others allegedly involved after raiding 6 different Crips locations this morning. Air 7 overhead as some of the alleged gang members were processed outside the FBI's LA field office. And in those social media posts earlier tonight, Eugene Henley Jr. asked people to pray for him and his family. He is set to appear in court tomorrow for a bond hearing.
Pray for you.
It's going to probably be my last video. I'm going to go turn myself in to see what's going on. They talking about I'm a fugitive. So they just raided all my houses. 600 was actually with the police when they raided my house. And he's actually got video and footage of it. So y'all know what y'all dealing with. And I just want to say this to y'all. When they raided my houses and my property, they was asking about whack. Whack, loose cannon, 600, and this internet stuff. All of y'all filed. All y'all who be sending around the internet, all y'all who be promoting and listening to what they saying, all y'all giving these likes and hidden likes, all y'all supporting this. All y'all guilty of this. If you had something against a black man, you should handle it with a black man in the streets. Wack said 100 times he was gonna take my contracts. He working with the FBI. The FBI went to it's gonna probably be my last video.
Yeah, so
Allegations against
that's it as far as this go. These guys are guilty, man. All right, they're guilty of being wicked niggas, man, and that's the bottom line. That's the bottom line. You know, what are the charges that you see, regardless of what, these niggas are guilty, man. They're guilty, and you know, it's clear that you see somebody giving out Christmas gifts or whatever, and that don't cover up the filth and the wickedness that that these people do. All right, it doesn't cover up the wickedness. All right, I'm gonna read this real quick. This is Luke 12 and 2. It says, "For there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, neither hid that shall not be known." All right? So these dudes are trying to cover up their wickedness by popping out, giving out turkeys, giving out Christmas toys for people and helping people. Like, bro, you know, for nothing, Salakia, it says, Luke 12 and 2 again, "For there's nothing covered that shall not be revealed." All right? Neither hid that shall not be known. So all of these celebrities, all of these dudes from the streets who had their long runs, it's all coming to an end because it's wicked. And you can't hide behind a giveaway. Right? Now, you know, and social media has destroyed people. Social media has absolutely destroyed people, the integrity, okay, people's virtues, people's morality. All right, it has destroyed it. Okay, the folly, the wickedness, the so-called exposing, the lies, the fabricating that people do on these social media apps, it has absolutely destroyed people and people's lives. Okay, here, let me play this video, because this is the one that goes with the title. The street ninjas are stupid.
Like, cause he'll be like he'll manipulate things. Like we'll go and do something, and as soon as we do it to show up to the house like 10 minutes later when we trying to counting everything, right? And we be like,
let me stop this real quick. This guy just went on camera and said that they doing crime. Salakia, hold on. Salakia. This guy is on camera right now. Let me read it and I'll play it again. On a podcast earlier this year, Loose Cannon discussed a robbery that allegedly was orchestrated by Big U, the guy in question, and committed by him. He's on a podcast that people see in the world. The world can see. You push your button, you upload the video, the world can see it. This guy is on here talking about crimes that was set up that he did by the guy Big U. These street ninjas are stupid as hell, man. All right?
like real police shit. I seen it.
Let me.
So basically, it's like, cause he'll be like he'll manipulate things. Like we'll go and do something, and as soon as we do it to show up to the house like 10 minutes later when we trying to counting everything, right? And we be like, how the f- they get that? Oh well, we're gonna just give them like $40,000 back and stuff like that. But cause it's actually putting us in paperwork, right? And like doing like real police shit. I seen it get like 20 guns, and when he got 20 guns, he's selling them to the homies. But I'm like, why are you writing down the serial numbers? So it's like he was doing like that, and I didn't catch on. So it was like I'm waking up now. You get what I'm saying? Because I'm his right hand man. You get what I'm saying? So when it came down to like dirt and stuff like that, I'm gonna get it. You get what I'm saying? And then like. One day,
you know why he wanted to get a dude back to 40, right?
So basically,
this when I seen this, I said this can't be real, bro. This cannot. What I'm hearing cannot be real. But it very well is. This is very real. These guys are committing to crimes. Okay. Probably working with the feds, things like that, and working with the law enforcement. Right, with stuff like this, it ain't hard to see. It ain't hard to kind of see the spirit on these guys. But anyway, in the street life is a wicked world to be in. All right, whatever level that you're operating on in the streets, you're dealing drugs, guns, shootings, robberies, all of that shit is wickedness, and the Lord is going to judge these people with jail time and death. All right? So we don't have compassion for these so-called street niggas. These so-called tough guys, these gang members, these gangsters, right? We don't have no compassion for them. All right? The Lord is judging them. Forget what the FBI is doing. This is judgment from the Heavenly Father. Okay? My tenure in the streets growing up, I never was involved in any gangs. I never was with that gang shit. I never was with that. That was never a thing that I was on. I never was with rolling in packs and gangs, and we just was childhood friends, and we was selling drugs and doing dumb shit. That's it. The Lord gave some of my friends some of my friends still in jail. Right? By not able to leave the life. The Lord pulled me out of it because I prayed for the Lord to pull me out of it, and Tawadi Halbashim Shai for pulling me out of the streets. All right. But this whole gang, tough guy, killer, drug dealer life is just is whack, it's corny, and it's wicked. And that's the point. That's the point. Let me get to the scriptures. Because the street life is dumb, and these dudes are even dumber. All right, I'm gonna start here. And dudes got to change their mentality. See, me on a personal level, I'm extremely traumatized by the streets. I've been traumatized by that world. All right, because I've been I've done so much drug dealing that shit is traumatizing. You know what I'm saying? You know? I done been like almost killed, like all kind of wild shit. And so when people glorify it, it bugs me out, because I'm like, a lot of time, more times than not, people who glorify it, they never was really in it. Like they never went through nothing. Those of us who have trauma behind this street shit, we don't fuck with that shit, man. You know, we stay far away from it. We ain't with none of that. Right? It's Proverbs 14:12. It says, there's a way which seemeth right unto a man, but the end thereof are the ways of death. Right. So there's a culture in the street. You gotta be a gangster, you gotta be a shooter, killer, tough guy, gang member. Right? That's what makes you a man. There's a way which seemeth right unto a man, but the end thereof are the ways of death. Right. So you thinking you're brought up in a world where, and in a place where, yeah, you got to be a gang member, you got to be this, you got to be that, you got to be tough guy, you got to kill, you got to shoot, you got to rob, you got to sell drugs, right? But the end thereof are the ways of death. Okay. So this whole street culture, this whole mindset of being in the streets and being, that shit is wicked, it's corny, and here's the reality. Most so-called tough guys and street dudes, they're feminine. They are feminine. All right, they're emotional. They don't know how to gather their emotions, okay, and deal. All right. That's why when they feel disrespected, they shoot, kill, stab, because they're emotional. All right. And they think these codes and these ways of the streets is what you stand on. No, you stand on being a man. Right? And real men know how to govern their emotions. Okay? It's a scripture that's coming to my head. And okay, I got it. Let me go get this real quick. Let me look this up. All right? Real men know how to gather their emotions. Okay? And maintain and govern their emotions. Let me see if this is it. Salakia, I'm just pulling this up on my other phone. Yes, okay, this is it. Yeah, we're still in Proverbs. All right, so Proverbs 25 and 28. And it says, he that have no rule over his own spirit is like a city that is broken down and without walls. Okay? So these dudes don't have no rule over their own spirit. They're over their own emotions. Their emotions get the best of them. Okay? In this so-called street life. Right? They don't know how to reason. Because like I said, a lot of them are effeminate. They're feminine. They were raised by their mothers, and they react like little, bitch ass niggas, man. That's why they shooting. They shooting and they gotta, right? Because they're emotional. They're really soft. All right? They don't know how to conversate and have a conversation. I remember I was operating in that space. All right? Till I really had to man up. But Proverbs 25 and 28 again, he that have no rule over his own spirit is like a city that is broken down and without walls. Okay, so and that's why you got so many crash outs. All right, because these dudes don't know how to govern their emotions. All right, they're very emotional and effeminate men. All right, so the so-called tough guys that you think is a tough guy, nah, he's effeminate. All right, he's emotional. All right, he ain't tough. He don't know no other way to deal with his issues. All right, Proverbs 1 and 22. And it says, how long, ye simple ones, will ye love simplicity? Okay, and the scorners delight in their scorning, and fools hate knowledge. Right. So these dudes are fools out here, man. All right, they're simple as hell. Okay, they think this whole gang life is something that's productive, but clearly it's not. Okay, that gang shit, that street, it's been over. But how much more now since social media is taking effect? I can't believe what I'm seeing, man. From these so-called tough guys, these killers, these gangsters. These dudes are absolutely bugged out and stupid. All right? They're on podcasts. They're confessing to crimes. And for the sake of what? For clout? This internet has done a lot of damage to the minds of our people, man. And people have no regard anymore, even for their own safety, their own freedom. They're going on these podcasts telling on themselves. What part of the game is that? You know what I'm saying? And it's even people who, see, I don't come from the social media world. Right? My time in the streets, when I was being a fucking wicked nigga, and I'll admit it. And again, the water Yahweh Shem Yahweh for pulling me out of that mindset. But when I was being a wicked nigga, because that's what I was, all right, I was very secretive, man. I wasn't about telling nobody nothing about nothing. You don't know nothing that I do. You just see me moving around. But these guys today, man, and that's why there's no compassion for the wicked, no compassion for these goddamn idiots. Actually, may Yahweh Shem Yahweh continue to judge and remove them out of the way. All right? Proverbs 1:22 again. How long, ye simple ones, will ye love simplicity? Yeah, the allure of the streets. All right? Tough guy, gangster, gang culture, gang life. Right? And the scorners delight in their scorning, and fools hate knowledge. Yeah, they hate knowledge. They hate to hear this truth, first and foremost, that what they're doing is wicked. All right? You know? They love simplicity, man. You know what I'm saying? Very, very simple. They think this is the way. They think this being a tough guy is predicated on you being a killer or being violent. All right? They're very stupid. And you know, they feel like what they're doing is okay to do. Oh, but that's because they have no understanding of the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son. All right? Because I remember the mindset that I was in. And I remember thinking, oh, because of what I'm doing, I'm only selling drugs to provide for my children, that it was okay to do. Nope, it was wicked as all hell. And I was justifying my time in the street, my tenure in the street by, you know, the reasoning behind it. Taking care of my kids. Nah, but it was wicked. And Tawadi Habashim Shai again for not killing me or judging me with jail time. Because I was looking at 13 years in prison. All right. So this is Jeremiah 4:22. It says, for my people is foolish. They have not known me. They are sottish children, and they have none understanding. So these so-called street dudes, these gang members, they're out here moving around foolish with no knowledge of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. Okay? They have no understanding of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, and they have no understanding of what they're doing. They think that it's okay. They prefer the clout, the recognition that comes with being a so-called street dude over understanding that it's an evil thing. And that's what they're not supposed to be doing. It says they are wise to do evil, and that's the point I wanted to get. Okay? Our people specialize in wickedness. Okay? They specialize in being evil and wicked, man. Oh, they know all about that. They know all about how to rob, how to set up a motherfucker, how to make some drugs, cook up some coke, right? But to do good, they have no knowledge, okay? They don't know the first thing about doing good and being righteous. Okay? They're stuck. Okay? They're stuck. Okay? With focusing on how to be a better nigga. How to be the best evil and wicked nigga. That's what they stuck on. But to do good, they have no knowledge. Okay? And that is these street guys, man. Okay? Okay, they're masters at wickedness. All right? But to do good, they have no knowledge. All right? We'll close here. Ecclesiastes 1:15. And it reads, that which is crooked, okay, cannot be made straight. And that which is wanting cannot be numbered. Okay, so these dudes who are wise to do evil, and that's their main focus. They've spent all their damn years on focused on how to be the perfect nigga, wicked nigga. Okay, they cannot be made straight, man. All right, the judgment of the Lord has to happen. It has to come down upon these people. All right, and we ought to just sit back and watch and continue to understand what not to do and how not to be. Okay, stay far away from that street mentality. It's a very traumatizing world. It's a very traumatizing lifestyle. Okay, and those of us who were in it for many, many years, me 20 plus, since I was 16, 17 years old, I was selling some shit. All right, I started with selling fireworks, then weed, then crack, then coke, then pills, and everything under the goddamn sun. And did it for 20-something damn years, man. It's very traumatized. I go back to my old neighborhood and I, you know, and I gotta go drop my kids off or whatever to their grandma or whatever. And I'm moving, and it's traumatizing because those are the same places where I was doing all my dirt. That shit is traumatizing. That shit is hell, man. It's hell. All right. Black culture, the gang life, the drug dealing lifestyle is fucking hell. All right. And may Yahweh Shem Shah continue to judge these stupid ass niggas, man. We have no remorse, no compassion for the wicked. Call Halal Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua Ba'Shem Rakakodash. If you get anything from this lesson, please know and understand the name of the Heavenly Father is Yahweh. The name of his only begotten Son is Yahweh Shah. Those are the names you call on now. And in that dreadful day, shalom to the next one.